All right, let's jump right in with a really cool idea. Think about this. What if your mind is basically a movie theater? And in this theater, you're not just watching the show. Nope. You're the audience, you're the star, and this is the big one, you are the director of every single movie that plays on that screen.
I mean, have you ever felt like you're just stuck, playing the same negative thoughts on a loop? It's like you're trapped in the world's worst movie theater, and the projector is just stuck on this one awful film you absolutely despise, playing it over and over and over again.
And that right there is the heart of the problem. You know, Dr. L. Michael Hall puts it perfectly. He says, sounds like a really boring movie. And he's right. If that's all that's playing in your mind, these dull, negative, repetitive films, well, of course you'd have no motivation. I mean, who wouldn't? You'd be desperate to change the channel.
So let's do just that. Let's step inside and take a look around. Welcome to your mind's cinema.
So, what are we talking about here? The official term for this concept is MovieMind. Now, the most important word in this definition is experience. Let's be super clear, we're not talking about some literal projector or a tiny little screen inside your skull, no. It's about that powerful, undeniable feeling. You know, the experience of seeing, hearing, and feeling a whole world unfold inside your own head.
And this is such a key distinction to make. In literal reality, your brain is, well, it's just soft tissue and neurochemical pathways. There's no physical screen. But your phenomenological experience, that's just a fancy word for how it feels to be you, is totally different. It feels like there's a rich, vivid world inside your mind. And that movie, that internal sense of reality, that's the map you're using to get around in the real world every single day.
Okay, so we've got this inner cinema, cool. But how does it all work? How do these movies actually affect us? Well, this is where things get really powerful.
See, the movies you let play in the theater of your mind, they're not just for entertainment. They're not passive. They actually govern how you respond to everything. They are the direct cause, the screenplay, that dictates your emotions, your feelings, and even your actions.
And just like your local movieplex, your mind has a whole library of genres. I mean, think about it. Right now, what's playing for you? Is it a nail-biting horror film about that big presentation next week? Or maybe it's a sweet little comedy about a great time you had with your friends. You could be watching a drama, an adventure, and each one of those genres creates a completely different feeling inside you. Let's make this super practical. If the movie you've got on loop is a horror movie, say about failing an exam, your body is going to feel fear, anxiety, dread. It has no choice. But if you pop in a comedy movie, you'll feel light, you'll feel fun, you'll feel joy. And what about those really specific personal movies? There's this story about a guy named Phil who had what he called an inadequacy movie playing constantly. And the result? He felt worthless and ashamed. It's a direct link. As the movie goes, so goes your state.
Okay, but here comes the big plot twist of our story. You are not just a passive member of the audience. You don't have to just sit there and watch whatever awful movie happens to be playing. It is time for you to get up out of your seat and take the director's chair.
And listen, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. You are not just in the audience. This is absolutely crucial. You are the producer, you are the director, and you are the editor. You get to decide what gets made, how it's cut, and what the final message is. I mean, it's your mind, right? You should be in charge. So you can think about this in a few different levels of control. Level 1 is the actor. This is where most of us live by default. We're in the scene, feeling all the emotions, just experiencing it. But we can move up. At the next level, you become the editor. You step out of the scene and start fiddling with the knobs. You can adjust the sound, the color, the focus. And then at the highest level, you become the director. From here, you can step way back and change the entire meaning and purpose of the story itself.
So how do you actually do that? How do you go from being the actor to being the editor? The secret sauce is understanding the difference between two states, associated and dissociated. When you're associated, you are in the movie, first-person view. You're feeling everything all over again. That's our default mode. But when you're dissociated, you're outside the movie. You're watching yourself on the screen. You can observe what's happening without getting sucked back into the emotion. And that shift, that is the absolute key to taking control.
All right, theory is great, but let's get practical. How can we actually put this into action? Let's walk through a super simple but really powerful technique to recast one of your life stories.
Okay, let's try a little re-editing session right now. Pick a negative memory, maybe a time someone insulted you. Let's call it your insult film. Step 1, project it. I want you to imagine that memory playing on a giant movie screen right in front of you. Okay, got it? Good. Step 2, step out.
This is the crucial part. Imagine yourself floating out of your body and sitting down in a comfy chair in the audience, a nice, safe distance away. You're just an observer now. Step 3. Mute and fade. Grab the remote control in your mind. Turn the volume all the way down, mute those critical voices. Now, drain all the color out of the picture until it's just a dim black and white still image. See how that feels? Okay, step 4. Add a silly soundtrack. This is fun. Change the audio to something totally ridiculous, like goofy circus music. Make it absurd. And finally, step 5. Rewind it. From your safe place in the audience, imagine stepping into the very last frame of that memory, after it's all over and you're safe. From there, rewind the entire movie backwards at super speed, in like 1 or 2 seconds, just zip, all the way to the beginning. Do that a couple of times. What you're doing is scrambling the emotional code of that memory.
So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all lead to? It's simple, really. You get to make your final cut. You are no longer just a passive victim of whatever thoughts pop into your head. You are the one holding the clapperboard. You are in the director's chair.
And the reward for doing this? It's huge. It's not just about feeling a little bit better. The quote says it all. He who directs his cinemind will get an Academy Award in resourcefulness. When you get good at this, you become more creative, more resilient, you become more effective at, well, everything. That's the real prize.
So I'll leave you with a final thought, a question to take with you. Now that you know you're the producer, the editor, and the director, now that you know you have the power to control the movies that create your reality, what story will you choose to produce?